From the Oregon State University Extension Service, this is Pollination, a podcast that tells the stories of researchers, land managers, and concerned citizens making bold strides to improve the health of pollinators. I'm your host, Dr. Adoni Melathopoulos, Assistant Professor in Pollinator Health in the Department of Horticulture. Wow. I was at the biggest beekeeping meeting I've ever been in my life, the World Congress of Beekeeping, Apimondia, which was held in early September in Montreal, Canada. And I've got a bunch of podcasts that I recorded at that meeting, including interview on risk assessment with Nigel Rain, with Miel Montreal, Greg from Miel Montreal. But I've got two episodes that I want to share with you. The first one here is on some of the vendors at Apimondia. Apimondia has this huge trade show called Api Expo. So in this episode, we're just going to wander through the aisles, and I'm going to bring you some really interesting conversations from Chile to South Korea to Quebec, Canada. We're going to hear about some of the latest and greatest innovations in beekeeping technology this week on Pollination. Even before I got into the trade show, the first person I ran into was a familiar face, Dan from the BC Honey Producers Association. There was a lot of booths from different associations at the meeting. So here's what Dan had to say, just kind of like at the front end of Apimondia, the total excitement, and you can hear the roar of people in the background.
Hi, I'm Dan Mawson. I'm from the BC Honey Producers Association. Sit on the executive and actually helped with the trade show trade show display here at the Api Expo that we're having on today.
So tell us what's if you went to the BC Honey Producers Association booth, what would people see there?
Well, we're just kind of showcasing not only our association, but our province as well, our province beekeepers. So we've got some banners, some videos, some printed material, and just kind of talking up what we do in BC and giving out some information.
And some issues of Bee Scene.
Yes, we got a great, what we think a world-class publication.
It is great.
For quarterly we publish it, and it's just about practical beekeeping, beekeeping research, beekeeping community stuff. So it's really popular. So we brought a couple thousand copies of that to hand out. So.
Woohoo! And what are you looking forward to? What's on your hit list here?
Well, it's really overwhelming. I mean, there is just so much to see. It's hard to select. But I'm a small-scale beekeeper, and just looking for some real practical application stuff I can take back and apply. Just learning kind of what the latest and greatest it is. It's really amazing.
Well, fantastic. I'll let you go on into this huge conference.
Excellent. Thanks.
So I felt a little bit like Dan. I'm a little overwhelmed and really dazzled by the size of Apimondia. So I headed into the trade show, this massive trade show with vendors from all around the world, and I was really delighted to run into Klaus Wallner, who is part of the company that makes these genter boxes, this way of making queens without having to rear queens. Hear a little bit of our conversation. Now, I know in Oregon, there's lots of people who are interested in queen rearing, but they're very intimidated by the grafting. Did you encounter this problem before developing these systems?
Yes, exactly. This was the reason to think about how to manage the thing without grafting, without maybe hurting the larvae, and how to optimize the age of the larvae. And so the idea was to use some technical tool to make it easy for everybody, also to make it easy for beekeepers who are getting older and have problems with their eyes maybe. So it's a help for everybody.
Okay, so we're looking here, you've got a frame, and inside the frame there's a little plastic box. Tell us the components of this box.
Yes, you have a box, and you can isolate the queen in this box. The queen cannot come out, but the nurse bees and all other bees are able to enter this cage.
There's an excluder material on the front.
It's excluder material, exactly.
Yep.
So the queen is in the box for 24 hours, and in this time she will start to lay eggs in these prepared plastic cells. So after 24 hours, you have these around 250, 300 cells laid with eggs. And the trick is that you can take out cell bottoms from 112 cells in this cage.
Oh, I see. There's a secret back door
behind 112 cells that you can then pull out with, and there'll be an egg in there.
Exactly.
Ah.
You can remove the bottom of the cell. That means the queen lays the egg on the bottom of the cell.
Yeah, I see.
And so if you have good eyes, you will see the small eggs in the center of this bottom.
Yes.
And you just remove the bottom and use it to construct a queen cell.
Oh, yeah, I see. There's some adapter equipment here. So you take the back off, and then you push it into another downward-facing...
Yeah, we put it into this additional construction that fix it together to really queen cell.
Oh yeah, so
breeding cell.
It looks just like a queen cell. You've not had to graft because you've taken that false back down, and then it's just made out of plastic, and so the bees
everything
have
is made of plastic.
Great.
Everything is made German, technical, perfect,
very fancy,
and everything fits together perfectly. And so you do not move the larvae. You can, if you want, you can try to breed your bees, your queens starting from eggs, if it works. So usually you wait 3 days, and then these eggs emerge. And the first royal jelly, which is given by the nurse bees, is the right time to remove the bottom and to start the queen rearing with this additional cell.
Fantastic. Now I see there's some other devices there. There's some mesh cages that go around the queen cell. Describe what those things are.
We have a complete system, and in this product you find all the things that you need. That means we have for the further steps we have some wooden parts. You have this yellow, I don't know the name, where the queen cell fits inside. Okay. So you just combine it like this.
I see.
So and then it remembers very easily to what beekeepers do, what beekeepers have in their breeding system. So it's the starting with many partner cells in one line.
Okay, so you have a little adapter, and this goes into a frame, and then you can rear a whole bunch of queens in one colony.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
And then there's also a protection system. That means you can take 2 or 3 bees, and you just cover your queen cell, you protect the queen cell, and you have the nurse bees. As soon as the queen emerges, she's provided by food by these 3 bees.
So you have there's a nice system there. Everything fits together. So there's a system where you can protect the queen cell when she's emerging. Yeah. Fantastic. Okay.
Everything fits together, and we have another system that makes it possible, for example, to protect the cell and to have many cells in one finisher. So if you don't want to breed the queen cells in a brood chamber, if you want to use really your colonies, then you have this system where you can have some 50-60 cells in one colony, just protected and ready for reuse then in nukes or any way you want to do it.
Fantastic system. I really love how everything fits together. It's really thought out from the egg to the final cell and the queen. It's all fits together.
Yes, the Carl Jenter, who was the inventor of this, he was on one side a beekeeper with the heart and soul, and on the other side he was a constructor. Yeah. That means he saw the possibilities to use his technical understanding for these tools, and therefore you find it very perfect, fitted and perfect working.
And these are available at most bee supply centers across the United States.
Yes. We have suppliers here in Canada, also in US, all over the world, and also on this exhibition we met many of them who are interested or already have it or plan to use it in the future. So beekeepers will find it all over the country.
Fantastic. Thanks for taking time to talk with us.
Welcome. Thank you.
One feature of Api Expo that was really remarkable was all the honey extracting and processing equipment. There were these literal, small little soccer fields full of this kind of equipment. But one company in particular caught my eye. It was just a company out of Quebec called Cream Pal, and they have this really wonderful machine for taking regular honey and transforming it into this velvety, lovely creamed honey. Here's a little conversation that I had with Joël from Cream Pal.
I'm really fascinated. There's been a lot of attention at your booth. You've got a device here for making creamed honey. Just for our listeners who don't know what creamed honey is, explain what it is.
This will be a machine that will change your liquid state honey to a cream-formed, nice buttery style of honey.
I think with American listeners, I'm from Canada and I grew up with it. It is beautiful texture of honey. It's soft. It's not when some honey granulates, it goes hard. This is a beautiful texture.
Absolutely. We're going to have a nice white and slick texture. We're going to have no grains of crystallization in here that you can feel.
Yeah.
And we're going to make about 1,000 pounds per hour with this machine.
So grains, because sometimes when something crystallizes, it can feel like sugary in your mouth.
Absolutely. We're going to have some fine grain. When you work with a crystallized machine, honey machine, you're going to have some fine grain, but this machine will run 100% liquid honey through all your process.
So tell us how this works. So I see a hopper at the top.
Absolutely. We're going to pour liquid honey in.
Yeah.
And we're going to pass it through the machine.
Yeah.
And it's going to give us a nice liquid state honey, which is starting to turn cream.
Yeah.
We're going to do that. We're going to pour that into a bucket tank. We're going to put it in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
We're going to reprocess it 24 hours later.
Yeah.
And we're going to be able to jar right from here. Right from this machine. This machine will proceed.
Oh, yeah, you got a gate right on the end there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have a gate that can hook up automatic bottler. We have a manual bottler. We've been manual bottling for years now.
Yeah.
We own about 1,500 colonies.
Yeah.
We run maybe 60 drums in this machine per year.
Yeah.
And we're bottling by hand. It's been very effective and quick.
So I guess there's other devices out there for making creamed honey, but the real advantage of this one is the speed, that you can run a lot of honey through.
Absolutely. This machine will run 1,000 pounds per hour, 454 kgs, and will make the nicest, slick, smooth texture you can get on the market.
Oh, the thing we forgot to say is who you are and what the company's name is.
Well, I'm Sebastian from Cream Pal. We are right now launching our booth in Apimondia 2019. We've been selling this machine at Cream Pal for about 2 years now.
Yeah.
We've been owning it in our family for 40.
Yeah.
And we're trying to expand. We're going to expand actually in 2020. We're going to all of Europe and parts of New Zealand and Australia. We think that we can really facilitate life for beekeepers around the world by stopping crystallization, because this machine will also stop all your crystallization when we're breaking down molecules.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to save time and save the hassle with melting honey, re-pouring it in jars. So this machine will do it all.
Fantastic, and add a lot of value to your honey.
Absolutely. We can take lower valued honey, which will retail normally at $4 or $5 a kilo, and bring it up to a $14 kilo if it's mixed, maybe a $12 kilo if we keep it regular. We have honey that will sell up to $20 per kilo with added mixture. With this machine, you can mix aromas, essences. You would be able to mix natural fruit. We make a natural fruit here at Cream Pal, which won second best mixed honey in the world this year at Apimondia.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Fantastic.
It's raspberry honey flavored.
Very competitive competition. The world.
Absolutely. The best mixed honey, the second best prize for second honey in the world. Very proud of that. We've been working on this recipe for the past 2 years now. And this is 100% made by our Cream Pal machine, which is an innovative product, I think, for all the beekeepers in the world.
One last thing I would say, I like it. It comes in both this big model, but there's also a small model for people who are running on a smaller scale.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For people who are trying to run smaller scale operations or not sure if the big machine can suit their needs, we have a smaller machine at the end of the booth, which will hold 40% of the big machine. So we're running 400 pounds per hour with this machine. Instead of mixing 6 minutes, we're going to have a process of 2 minutes.
Wow.
And it's going to be real quick, because we don't alter honey with this Cream Pal machine any form or way. We don't heat, we don't cool with this machine. We're just processing and mixing honey.
One thing that's really great about AP Expo is that different countries have their national associations have like a trade booth. So you get to learn about beekeeping in different parts of the world. And Before I went into that part of AP Expo, I had a conversation with a good friend of mine, Neil Speck from Saskatchewan, and he had this to say about beekeeping as a kind of universal language.
Yeah.
Language barriers seem to disappear here. That's
We're working with the same species.
Yes,
Yeah.
That and when you want to communicate, that's important.
I've really loved looking at different packaging. You know, we were over at Bee Made, and that really I grew up with that iconic squeezable skep.
Yeah.
But I'm just seeing all sorts of other ways that people are packaging up honey. It's really remarkable to see.
The flavors and stuff, when you get looking at it, and everybody's got their culture on display as well.
For sure.
It really is a beautiful thing to see.
One country that was on display was South Korea. They held Apimondia in 2015, and I got to ask the president of the National Association the following question.
Okay, what's the one thing about beekeeping in South Korea that's really unique and different from the rest of the world?
그래서 한국 양봉이 다른 나라들에 비해서 뭐가 이제 장점인지 뭐가 특별한 점인지.
한국은 다른 나라에 비해서 면적이 작아요. 면적이 작으면서부터 우리가 살기 위해서는 그 대신에 면적이 작은데 살림이 70% 정도 돼요. 살림이. 그러다 보니까 작은 나라이면서도 산이 많다 보니까 벌을 할 수 있는 최적의 지질. 그러다 보니까 밀원이 적지 않아서 기술이 상당히 다른 나라에 비해서 발달되어 있어요.
So although the land is very small
Yeah.
compared to the population, we have a lot of mountainous regions, and compared to that, our equipment and our technologies in beekeeping is very advanced compared to other countries because of our downside, but then we use that as our advantage.
Now, the next Apimondia is going to be held in Russia, but I had the opportunity to drop by the Chile booth. At the time, Chile was competing for the 2023 Apimondia, and they won the bid. So the next Apimondia in the Americas is going to be held in Chile. Here's a little bit about what to expect.
Hola, soy Carola Acevedo de la Federación Rueda Apícola Nacional de Chile.
This is Carola Acevedo, as president from the Federation of Beekeeping in Chile.
Now, we've seen a lot of talks about crop pollination at Apimondia, and it seems like Chile is the place where beekeepers do a lot of crop pollination. Tell us a little bit about that.
Vieron muchas ponencias de polinización, de cultivos y de huertos, y al parecer Chile es un gran donde se produce gran polinización. ¿Qué piensas sobre eso?
Una de las partes de la apicultura que se desarrolla en Chile, especialmente en la zona central, es el tema de la polinización, debido a que tenemos mucha producción de frutos y frutales menores donde se necesita la abeja para potenciar el desarrollo de los frutos. Así que es parte de nuestra labor y nuestra actividad apícola permanente.
Effectively, pollination is part of our labor as beekeeper in Chile. In the central zone of Chile, there are great producer of fruits and big fruits and minor fruits, and it's a preoccupation from the Federation for Pollination.
The other thing that Chile is known for is producing some very high quality honeybee queens. Tell us a little bit about the queen breeding industry in Chile.
Chile también se produce una muy buena calidad de reinas. Entonces, si nos puedes contar algo de la producción de reinas en Chile.
Bueno, la producción de reinas en general se hace más en la zona norte central de Chile hasta la zona central, donde tanto se generan reinas para comercio interno del país como también reinas para exportación, donde se ha exportado a Canadá, Francia, México y otros países. Sí.
We produce queens, honeybee queen bees in the central part, in the north and central part, and we produce a lot for internal market and also for export. We export to Canada and Europe, France, Spain, and Germany, and also Mexico. It's an importer for our queens.
And I guess the last, I want to ask you about your bid for Apimondia, but before that, the one thing that I think about with Chile is very good beekeeping education. I know we've had some Canadians go down, and there's a real emphasis on beekeeping and education in Chile. Tell us a little bit about beekeeping education in Chile.
¿Quieres saber la educación y la capacitación en Chile? Al parecer es bastante buena, hay buena capacitación y quieres saber cómo se desarrolla en Chile.
Bueno, la verdad es que desde la Federación y desde los distintos actores de la cadena apícola, desde hace ya bastantes años se ha estado potenciando lo que es la profesionalización de la apicultura para desarrollar una actividad con responsabilidad, poder tanto no solo tener temas de polinización, sino que la conciencia de la producción de alimentos, donde necesitamos tener abejas sanas y con los tratamientos que se hagan no contaminar aquellos alimentos que luego serán comercializados.
There is a lot of Federation of Beekeeping in Chile is very preoccupied for the professionalization of beekeeper, and not only for pollination, also because we produce food, human food, honey, and we want that beekeepers have healthy bees without a pesticide, without I'm sorry,
You're doing great.
But this is a fact that Federation is preoccupied and do something. We have a lot of program to capacitate to learn to beekeepers to be more professional.
Now, and last question, there is this proposal, Chile is a candidate for running for having the Apimondia in 2023. It's a very exciting bid. Tell us a little bit about why Chile is going to be a great place to have Apimondia in 2023.
Sabe que somos candidatos para Apimondia 2023 y nos pregunta por qué es Chile un gran candidato y por qué debería hacerse Apimondia en Chile.
Bueno, Chile es un gran candidato porque tiene una diversidad del desarrollo de la apicultura. No se dedica solo a la producción de miel, también tiene polen, paquetes de abejas reinas también. Además, tenemos condiciones de seguridad que son muy importantes para realizar una actividad de la categoría mundial, que significa Apimondia, y es un país que tiene una conectividad bastante buena con el resto del mundo. Además, tenemos el tema de que podemos brindar estos espacios seguros no solo en la capital del país, sino que en los distintos entornos del país donde se puede desarrollar una clase de turismo relacionado con el mundo de la apicultura y conocer tanto productores de la agricultura familiar campesina hasta empresarios en el mundo apícola.
Chile has a great diversity in beekeeping, not only honey production, also pollination, we talk about it, and also queen breeder, package of bees, we have almost. And also we have a country with safe, very safe economic, political, and insanity also. And we can offer much more climates and regions that are different.
Yeah.
Yes, and you have a touristic destiny very beautiful in Chile. You have the desert of Atacama, the drier desert in the world. You have in the south the rainforest, and they have beekeeping in each region.
Wow.
There's much to show. We have much to show.
By now I'm getting a little bit tired, and I'm really glad to see a familiar face. And look over there, I see Paul Kelly from the University of Guelph. Let's see what Paul has to say.
Well, thank you, Adoni. Appreciate you coming to speak with me today. What would you like to talk about?
Well, I'm looking at your booth, and there's this beautiful rendering of a new proposed honeybee center at the University of Guelph. Tell us a little bit about the honeybee center and where it's at.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we just, as of a week ago, selected a final design for our new honeybee research center. It's really going to become a honeybee research and education center because we're going to focus a lot on public education.
Oh, great.
We will also be teaching lots of beekeeping courses and things too, but we're finding so much interest from the general public, and there just isn't enough opportunity for them to learn about how important bees are, things that they can do to help out with honeybees, and all the fascinating things that they can learn about honeybees. We find that when people start learning about bees, it really connects them with nature. They think they're just so amazing, and I think they are a great example of how interconnected things are in nature.
Now, I know for our Canadian listeners, they know the University of Guelph as being really a center of beekeeping education in Canada, but for other listeners, they may not know the history of the program at the University of Guelph. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. We've been going since the late 1800s teaching beekeeping courses. We work at the University of Guelph. It used to be the Ontario Agricultural College. In fact, it's still a college at the university. But we built the North America's largest honeybee center in 1919, 100 years ago.
Oh, great.
And guess what? It got torn down because it was in the best spot possible at the university campus.
Really?
So there was 100 beehives, a 3-story structure, right dead center on campus, but it was torn down in the late 60s to make room for a university center. And we were moved out to a little raised bungalow. Beautiful little spot in the woods, but we've outgrown the bungalow, and we teach classes in the living room of the bungalow. It'll fit a maximum of 24, so we shove 40 in, and we extract in a recreation room. Our lab is a bedroom, and so on and so on. But we're building a new center to be able to be purpose-built. We're engaging commercial beekeepers and smaller scale beekeepers to help us design the beekeeping production facilities, so we'll be able to demonstrate methods at all different scales of beekeeping. And we'll manage a larger number of colonies. We're currently using 500 colonies that are actively engaged in research projects.
Yeah.
We need to have 600 to 700 to keep up with the projects that we're doing, because our research is very field-oriented.
Yeah.
A lot of our work involves observations in actual colonies.
Yeah.
We go right from the lab to the colonies, but we need a lot of hives to get good research, because as you know, Adoni, you need large numbers to get good statistics.
Fantastic. I guess so you're fundraising right now. I see there's some beautiful T-shirts here and other things for raising. Tell us a little bit about how people can contribute if they want to.
Sure. We've got a major donor that took a beekeeping course, got squished in next to the 39 other people, and she thought, you guys got to be able to do better than this. So she came along, and she's donated 50% of the value of the building, so that's $5 million.
Wow,
we're
fantastic.
Looking at a $10 to $12 million budget.
Yeah.
We've got a ways to go to get that second 50%. We're engaging with the beekeeping industry, the food industry, and related industries, looking for corporate sponsors to build a building. We're going to do the whole building on donated funds. We're not going to the government. We don't think we work too well if we did go to the government anyway. So we're going to be building an iconic structure and building that with funds that are donated by groups of all sorts, individuals from every different level. So there's naming opportunities for individual rooms. There's naming opportunities for gardens.
The Millithopoulos room.
That's right. There you go.
Oh, man.
How about that? We could maybe name a hive tool after you, too, if you like. But we'll be doing some crowdfunding and reaching out to the beekeeping community for support, and certainly reaching out to the beekeeping community to help us decide how to build this building to make it effective for them.
The last thing I want to mention, I know lots of beekeepers in Oregon know about the really wonderful YouTube channel that you put together. Describe the channel, and for those of people who haven't seen it, sort of what was the idea behind the YouTube channel, and what are some of the skills that people can pick up?
Right. We teach weekend beekeeping courses, and over a 2-day period, we give them at least 4 days worth of information, so it's overwhelming. We recognize that. As a backup to that, so that we could reinforce that knowledge, we decided to do some videos that were based on the courses that we teach. Individual skill sets, short, average of 7 minutes long, concise, to the point, and simple and practical ideas. We teach methods that we use ourselves, so we feel we're able to communicate those methods relatively well. One of the students said, well, why don't you put these on YouTube? I'd never thought of that. And right now there's in the neighborhood of 4 million views from every corner of the world. So they've exceeded our expectations, and wildly.
Understandable. They are really well put together, and I do like the point that they're short enough that you can sit down and sort of absorb one key skill in beekeeping, and they're really nicely thought out and put together.
Yeah, we felt that people would kind of pick and choose what skills they were wanting to beef up on, or what seasonal kind of activities they would be engaged in. We do find, I've been told a number of people binge watch them, but I'm so I'm not sure how much they're getting that way. But it's really rewarding to be here and meeting many of the people that are viewing our videos, and they're telling their stories of how helpful they've been. So
great.
We're really excited to be able to meet everybody and talk about that.
Fantastic, Paul. Thanks so much, and good luck with the fundraising.
Thank you very much, Tony.
Wow, I always like talking with Paul, and it really perked me up, got me out on the trade floor again. And the one thing I did want to point out is Ape Expo had a lot of American companies, and I did want to profile two that I ran into. My first stop was John at Pureco.
Yeah, Pureco's been around for 42 years.
Really?
We invented the one-piece plastic frame back in 1977.
Wow.
My name is John. I took over the company 6 years ago.
Okay.
Bought it from the original owner.
Uh-huh.
Since then, we've expanded into a variety of things based on the demand from our customer.
Yeah.
So today, as you can see, we are covering protective wear in the area of gloves, bee jackets, bee suits, and a variety of things. From adults all the way down to kids.
I see some small suits there.
Yes. Nutrition is a big thing today.
Yeah.
So we do probiotics. We put together a distribution agreement with a company called Strong Microbials out of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
We are the West Coast distributor, and
great.
it is for the health of the bee, their immunity system, their gut, and probiotics as a human would take to give the bees better health.
So these would be things you'd add to your syrup.
That is correct.
Yep.
Or actually, with that product, it goes straight over the hive. You sprinkle it over the hive or blow it right through the hive without adding it to the syrup.
Fantastic. Okay.
In addition to that, we've had smokers, and we have tools, and we have feeders and things of that nature, which gives the beekeeper a full array of products from that they can use to start a whole beekeeping from start to finish. We do wood products now as well.
Oh, I see that. I can see right on the back there. Yeah, right.
So some folks, we call it Coke or Pepsi, if you will, meaning some guys love the full one-piece plastic frame, and it has its pros and cons, as the beekeeper will announce to you.
Yeah.
Others like the plastic foundation that snaps into a wood frame to cover both demands and both needs.
Fantastic.
If you like wood better, we'll do the wood. If you like plastic better, we'll do the plastic.
I have to say, there's nothing better than just getting a box of one-piece frames in the middle of season and you're running out of comb, and it's like my bacon has been saved.
Simple, easy, durable, right out of the
they
box,
are durable.
right into the
like
hive.
Those ears are. It's. There's not a lot of plastic on them, but you can't break them.
They're very strong and last for years.
Now I'm looking behind here. We got some different colors. I'm familiar with the green, the drone, the drone frames, but what's the pink and blue?
So standard colors, normally for the brood box is the black, as you're aware of, where you can see the white egg against the black background.
If you're grafting, there's no better comb to graft off of.
It's real easy to see, and that's the purpose behind it. The white that's been around for years as well, which is also a stock color. The thought process there was always to see the honey flow against the honey super.
Yep.
And then we get into custom colors. So the pink one was unfortunately, a gentleman that we've worked with. His mom had passed away from breast cancer, not a good thing.
Yeah.
But the positive side was he wanted to do something special on her behalf.
Oh,
he wanted to do something for the breast awareness program.
Yeah.
And we were able to put together a special pink, match the color accordingly, and he does a
right?
novelty item and puts money into donating to the breast cancer awareness program.
Oh, that's fantastic.
The blue that you see there is a custom color, showing that we do custom colors.
Yeah.
And there are beekeepers out there that want to differentiate themselves from others and want to do something different. They came to us and asked if we can do X amount of blue frames. We matched it. We tested it in the hive. The bees didn't seem to care whether it was black or blue.
Yeah.
And we ran a large order for him in a light blue.
Well, I know the thing I really love about the frames is comb renewal is a real important part of beekeeping, and just being able to efficiently kind of get old comb out and get some new comb in.
Yes.
I remember the old days of wiring and trying to melt that foundation onto the wires, and it was a lot. I remember it was about 10 minutes per frame to make a frame.
There's a lot of work behind it, and these are simple, they're durable, they last, and if you can keep them within your system for quite a while, I think it outweighs the environmentalists that are concerned about using plastic, as we are, but because of the longevity of the product, it seems to overcome that challenge.
Well, we talked a little bit. There is a way to kind of renew plastic comb if you really would like to do it. It's a lot of effort, but you can take old comb that's been there for a few years and get the kind of renew it.
That's exactly correct. You can simply scrape off the comb and remelt the wax down for your own purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You can power wash these things down, and the frame is so durable it'll last you many years and many uses beyond the first comb buildup or a contaminated comb that may take place.
Wow, it was great for that advice. I get asked a lot whether that plastic comb can be renewed, and there is your answer. Apimondia is also a great opportunity for American companies to see the innovation that's happening in other parts of the world and make partnerships so that they can import that new equipment and technology to the U.S. And I wanted to profile this relationship between Better Bee, which is a bee supply company in the Northeast, and the Polish equipment supplier, Lyson.
My name is John Rath. I'm one of the owners of Better Bee, and we're here helping represent Lyson.
Okay, and so tell us both about Better Bee. You guys are on the East Coast?
Yeah, we're in upstate New York.
Okay, and Lyson is, where are they based out of?
Lyson is a Polish company just near Krakow, west of Krakow, Poland.
And I can see on the other end of you guys a really huge display. There's a lot of great bottling equipment and extractors, and on half of the room, look at those nice little bottling units. Oh, no, those are wax melters.
Yeah, we've got gas-fired wax melters, electric. We have pollen dryers, pollen cleaners, and as many extractors as you could possibly think of here.
Oh, and that nice bottling line.
Yep, fully automatic bottling line, cap installer, label installer, the works.
That must be nice.
Yeah, I would like one.
But the one thing I did want to talk to you about is you've got these great styrofoam hive boxes. Tell us a little bit about them. I know in North America they haven't really caught on, but in Europe people use a lot of styrofoam.
Yeah, and people have been using these for decades over in Europe. And what we have here, it's a high insulation value, so the bees maintain a more stable cluster temperature. They consume less syrup in the winter, just because it has a much higher R value compared to wood.
And I imagine some people are worried. They think, styrofoam, wood is solid. Can you tell us a little bit about the durability of styrofoam?
Yeah, so most people think of cheap coolers when they think of styrofoam and the little beads of polystyrene breaking off. But this is a much higher density. It's similar to wood in durability, not quite as good. You can't throw it around.
Yeah.
But they'll last for many years, 15, 20 years, and they're very durable.
And I guess the other thing about them is they're lighter. I imagine thinking about like two brood boxes, that's a lot of weight. These are really light when they don't have the frames or the honey in them.
Yeah, they're slightly lighter than wood. They are thicker than wood, but even though they are thicker, they are still lighter. And we're actually excited this coming year at Better Bee, we will start carrying a 8-frame polystyrene hive. So
fantastic.
That'll be even lighter. It's called an Australian 8-frame. It'll hold 8 in the deep and 9 in the medium, so they call it an 8/9. And we're really excited to bring that to the market.
Okay, and I guess the other thing is you've not just got 10-frame boxes here. There are some with some of those little pollination clips on the front, so that you can, I guess, for moving the colonies around.
Yeah, we have pollen traps available, feeders. Pretty much the entire hive can be made out of polystyrene, the inner cover. And one advantage of these Lyson polystyrene hives is they're very well ventilated. They have vent plugs that can be removed to get the right amount of ventilation for your bees.
Oh, fantastic. And the other thing I see here, these beautiful, they almost look like modernist Danish design. These mini 6-frame mating hives, they're square. Tell us a little bit about those.
So these are mini mating nukes. They can be used as one 6-frame box, or they can be divided down the middle.
Oh, so you get 2 mating nukes.
Exactly, 3 frames each. It's a much smaller area to go through when you're trying to find your newly mated queen. And they're well insulated, and that's nice when you're out catching queens in August and the sun's baking on them, and they can stay a little bit cooler in there.
Truth be told, I really only had conversations with maybe 1/10 of the vendors at Apimondia, and I'm even giving you 1/10 of those conversations in this podcast. But I did want to finish with a conversation I had with Max Watkins from Vita Bee Health. a lot of beekeepers in the U.S. know about Vita because they're the manufacturers of Apiguard and also have these diagnostic tests for looking for American foul brood disease. Here's what Max had to say about what's going on at Vita these days. Okay, I'm on the trade show floor with Max Watkins, the CEO of Vita. Welcome to Pollination.
Well, thank you very much.
So,
Pleasure to be here.
I know one thing I saw coming up to your booth I was really excited about is this banner for Fumagillin. You're going to be supplying Fumagillin into Canada, I understand.
Yes, we are. We've been working with the Canadian Honey Council now for almost a year to try and get this back in. It's the Medivet registration, the same formulation. So we've been working with Ursula, who was the owner of that, and the Canadian Honey Council to find another manufacturer, which we've done. They're actually in Guelph, Ontario. They've made the product for us. We've taken a long time to get the active ingredient, which has been a strain, but it's
and why is this, for people who aren't familiar, why is this product so important to Canadian beekeepers?
Because here Fumagillin has been used for many years for control of nosema disease in bees, and in Canada the season is not good for beekeeping because the bees are wrapped up for so long. So if they've got high humidity for, well, say here now, winter is end of September. They're in snow until about March. So all that time they've got high humidity, and any infection in the gut encourages the nosema to proliferate, and that just kills. So unless the bees have adequate nutrition or a treatment against that organism before they start, then you get a lot of winter dead-outs. So that's why beekeepers here were asking to get this back as quickly as possible.
Now, for our American listeners, there's a number of other products that we're all familiar with. I was thinking right off the bat, Varroa control is something that everybody's, this late in the season is trying to get under control, and Apiguard has been around for quite a few years.
Yes, we registered Apiguard in the States in 2005. So that's been a very successful, popular product, not just in the States, but we sell it, we manufacture it in the UK, and it's used in 48 countries.
And
so
it's a natural product.
It's a near natural product. It's based on thymol in a gel, but the formulation's designed to slowly release.
Right.
And also the consistency of the gel, it looks like wallpaper. It's granular, and it's designed like that because bees don't like thymol.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason it's granular is that the bees have to come and pick it up, and if it's too smooth, that doesn't happen. So as it's granular, the bees, as soon as it's in, the bees are saying, get it out of the hive. They pick it up, draw it down through the hive to throw it out, but as they're going down, the thymol's coming off and it's killing the Varroa.
Now, I imagine you guys have been around for quite a long time. We've a number of products that we enjoy. I saw somebody with the AFB test kits the other day.
Yes.
It must be very difficult for a small company like yours to have this international reach and to keep this research and development up. How do you do it?
Everything we do is with collaboration with universities and institutes around the world. Our company is 6 people. We are not. we are not a big company in terms of
You're mostly
people.
here, it looks like.
Yeah, five of us are here. 5 of us are here. Plus, we work with a very good company in France called Apimondia. But everything we do is in collaboration with others or contracted out. We work with universities for R&D. Pick a country and we're practically there at some point, but especially in Greece, in Germany, in Italy, USA, Canada, UK, France, and it works very well that way. It's quite often we get people coming to us and saying, we've got an idea for something, can you test it? And we've tested so many things, but as you can see, our range is still small, so a lot of those things don't quite make it to the end, but you've got to test it. So if it works, we will be pushing for it.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that little vignette of AP Expo. I want to really extend a big round of congratulations to the Canadian Honey Council, Canadian Association of Professional Apiculturalists, and the Quebec Beekeepers for putting on such a remarkable event. And stay tuned for some of the longer interviews that I was able to get with both researchers and people doing urban beekeeping coming up soon on Pollination. Thank you so much for listening. The show is produced by Quinn Sinan Neal, who's a student here at OSU in the New Media Communications program, and the show wouldn't even be possible without the support of the Oregon Legislature, the Foundation for Food and Agricultural Research, and Western Zaire. Show notes with links mentioned on each episode are available on the website, which is at pollinationpodcast.oregonstate.edu. I also love hearing from you, and there's several ways to connect with me. The first one is you can visit the website and leave an episode-specific comment. You can suggest a future guest or topic, or ask a question that could be featured in a future episode. But you can do the same things on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook by visiting the Oregon Bee Project. Thanks so much for listening, and see you next week.